All right, Shalom. Before I get started, excuse me, I want to say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha Kodash. Double honors, excuse me, to the elders at Great Millstone who taught me this truth. And Shalom to all you brothers out there and you good amount of sisters. Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Barakatham to you all. All right. Now I want to go into something that many elders and brothers and apostles in the body have been going into, which is something that this devil, this Edomite pastor Joel Webbin, I guess, said, he said, just a devil showing his true colors. Okay. Nothing to marvel at. All right. Because this is how these devils think. All right. This is that perpetual hatred. All right. That pride that Esau has. All right. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. All right. Why is it calling Esau thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks? Because these Edomite devils were living in the rocks. They were living in the caves of Europe. All right. They're the basest of men. All right. Excuse me. So, without further ado, this is fair use, fair use. We're going to let this play, and then we're going to grab some scriptures. All right. So let's let it play.
Hey, cut it out. You need to grow up. Stop throwing a fit. You're throwing a tantrum. Stop being a little boy. You're whining and crying about something that's ultimately your fault. Yeah. Stop blaming it on other people. It's your fault. Because here's the deal. So, slavery. The richest black people on God's green earth are African Americans. If slavery never happened, then you would be in a grass hut. Yeah. Right. Well, we need reparations. Your reparations are that you get to live in America. You're welcome. You're welcome.
You get to have the Christian religion.
That's
live
right.
better than your ancestors.
The greatest moment in history for any brown or black country is the moment that the white man's ships arrive on your shore. Because he brings the gospel of Jesus Christ. He catechizes you and your children. He brings exports. He brings hospitals, medicine, life expansion increases, GDP and resources increase, medicine increases, and most importantly, you get taught the gospel of Jesus Christ so that you can live longer on earth and then go to heaven instead of hell. That's historically what has happened. That doesn't mean white people haven't sinned. That doesn't mean that they did it all right, that there weren't abusive slave masters, that there weren't that's not to absolve white people of sin. But I'm saying on the big picture, to say, well, black people are victims, black people are oppressed, and white people owe us something, and it's all your fault. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. And here's the deal. I think getting to, the question from Starch Manning is a lot of the pushback that eventually conservatives finally mustered enough courage to say is, well, hey, look, can we just agree to a truce and let's just, we just won't talk about race at all.
Right. There's mistakes on both sides.
There are mistakes on both sides. Mistakes on both sides. No. That's not actually the solution. White people are sinners who need Jesus. Within white European history, there has been sin that has required the blood of Jesus. But on the whole, for 1,000 years, European people have been worshiping Jesus as sinners, but sinners saved by grace. And on the whole, non-European people, much of the rest of the world, has been worshiping demons. Mm-hmm. European people have been building cathedrals. Non-European people have been building grass huts. And for those who are of non-European descent, but live in the Western world, you are exceedingly blessed. And the response shouldn't be, let's push back against wokeness and just say, nobody talk about race. No, the response should be, stop whining. Stop throwing a fit. Get it together. God has blessed you, and he blessed you in large part through white people. So stop doing it. And also, as for you and your house, do your part to change the FBI crime statistics and stop killing people.
Wow, so there you go. All right, that's the devil speaking. All right, And we're gonna have these people in hardcore slavery. All right, make no mistake about it. We're gonna double unto them. All right, what they did to our people. All right, and this is this is in the scriptures that these devils, all right, would have this mentality. All right, this is the mindset of a pure devil. All right, let's get this. Zechariah 11:5. Zechariah 11:4, it says, "Thus saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, my power, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty." All right, you're blessed to be here in America. All right, that's what he's saying. You're blessed to be here in America, even though we had you in hardcore slavery. All right, we killed your babies, we fed them to alligators, we raped your women, we chopped your rod off, and the most despicable, disgusting acts of all time, the worst things that ever any human being did to anybody else, we did them to you. But you get to be in America where you can barely scrape by and barely afford groceries. So be happy. You can play PlayStation. We gave you a joystick. That's the mindset of these devils. All right, they hold themselves not guilty. All right, and they that say, I'm sorry, back in Zechariah 11:5, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, talking about these Edomites, and they that sell them say, "Blessed be the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, for I am rich," and their own shepherds pity them not. And these devils, man, they speak loftily concerning oppression. All right, you saw full Edomite pride right there. All right, and if you listen to IUIC, they're going to tell you you can't hate that devil. All right, because thou shalt not abhor an Edomite. You absolutely can hate Esau. All right, the Most High hates Esau, and we're supposed to obey the will of the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, and he said that these Edomite Europeans, that they worship JC. Well, did you know that in the scriptures, the Roman soldiers that compassed about Yahushai, okay, who you're calling Jesus, his real name in the Hebrew is Yahushai, all right, they're referred to as dogs, all right, in Psalms 22, all right? So that shows you how the Heavenly Father and his Son feel about you goddamn Edomites, you devils, all right? And you're going into slavery, all right? Psalm 73:1, "Truly the Most High is good to Israel, even to such as are of a clean heart. But as for me, my feet were almost gone, my steps had well nigh slipped. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked." Who's the wicked? Malachi 1:4, the Edomites, self-proclaimed white man, right? "For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm." Yeah, they have it good, they're living lavish. "They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men." That's right, they're in the suburbs, they got these big cribs. All right, they're driving around in Range Rovers and Escalades and Porsches. All right, neither are they plagued like other men. "Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain." All right, extremely proud, these devils. All right, no humility at all. "Violence covereth them as a garment." That's right, they've gone throughout the whole four corners of the earth, raping, robbing, pillaging. All right, genociding. Ooh, Salakia. I hope YouTube doesn't censor that. All right. G to the genociding people. All right. They're showing their true colors in the Gaza Strip right now. All right. Starving these Palestinians out. All right. Having booby traps, so to speak, where they have a crate full of food, and then some small hatter, some Amalekite with a sniper rifle is picking them off when they go out, picking off little kids with a sniper rifle when they go to pick up food. All right. So violence covereth them as a garment. All right. "Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily." That's right. These devils, these Edomites, these so-called white people, all right, they speak loftily concerning oppression. They act like it was nothing what the Israelites went through here in America and are still going through. All right. They act like it was just, everybody's went into slavery. All right. Well, if it's not a big deal, then hey, when we have you in slavery, hey, just take it on the chin, But they speak loftily concerning the oppression that our people have been through. All right. They set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. Therefore his people return hither. Excuse me. and waters of a full cup are wrung out to them. And they say, how doth the Most High know? And is there knowledge in the Most High? Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches, and you could tell just by this dude's demeanor, you could tell he got money or whatever, you could tell the suit or whatever, but that proud, smug Edomite demeanor, look at that smug look on his face in that thumbnail right here, where it says racist pastor, blacks are more dangerous than whites. That smug look on his face. All right, this is a proud devil. All right. Let's see. Psalm 73:12. Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world; they increase in riches. Verily, I have cleansed my heart in vain and washed my hands in innocency. For all the day long have I been plagued and chastened every morning. If I say I will speak thus, behold, I should offend against the generation of thy children. When I thought to know this, it was too painful for me. Until I went into the sanctuary of the Most High, then understood I their end. That's right. Now that we've came into this truth, which is the sanctuary of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, we understand that these devils are in for a huge A to the SS whooping from Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And he's going to use his people, the Israelites, us, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right, and Israelite foreigners, beginning with the elect, all right, to put pure hell on these people, all right, which they deserve, all right? So we understand the end of these Edomites, that they're going into hardcore slavery, all right? Those that are in America, all right, they're going to die when these nuclear missiles come. They're going to burn up in the lake of fire. It's going to be the second death. It's going to be a horrible, brutal death of biblical proportions, literally, all right? Then we're going to gather the remnant of the Edomites from around the world that survived, the tribulation and the earthquake, all right? And we're going to put them in slavery, all right, like the scripture says, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, all right? So the elite Edomites are going to get pulled out of their bunkers, all right, by the elect, and we're going to put all the Edomites and the rest of the nations in slavery. We're going to force them to repopulate. So those spirits of these Edomites and these other nations that die, they're going to come back down from the spiritual realm through their relatives, all right, that get put into slavery, and they're going to all experience brutal, hardcore slavery, all right? And we're not going to be nice to them. We're not going to show them mercy, all right? The only day that they're going to have off is the Sabbath and high holy days, all right? Because you're not allowed to work your slaves on those days, all right? No work shall be done, So now we understand the end of these Edomites, all right? We understand that they're going to get it worse than our people got it, Psalm 73:18. Surely thou didst set them in slippery places. Thou castedest them down into destruction. Yeah, the Most High set them up, and they feel like they're on top now, and they are on top now, but they're in a slippery place, The Most High set them up to be destroyed ultimately, and to go into perdition, And after that 1,000 years of slavery is up, guess what? Pursuing to the book of Obadiah, specifically the 18th verse, we're going to gather up all the Edomites, and then we're going to burn them. All right, they're going to get burned up a second time. All right, and that's going to be the end of them. All right. Verse 19, how are they brought into desolation as in a moment? They are utterly consumed with terrors. As a dream when one awaketh, so, O Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, when thou awakest, thou shalt despise their image. Thus my heart was grieved, and I was pricked in my reins. So foolish was I, and ignorant, I was as a beast before thee. Nevertheless, I am continually with thee. Thou hast holden me by my right hand. Thou shalt guide me with thy counsel, and afterward receive me to glory. And that's our nation, beginning with the elect. We're going to be glorified, in the kingdom of heaven. Those new bodies, immortality, rulership, okay? And that's going to last for all of eternity, all right? And this whole, fall of man, the fall of Adam, this is going to be like a bad dream, that we're going to wake up from, Who have I in heaven but thee? And there is none upon earth that I desire beside thee. My flesh and my heart faileth, but the Most High is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. For lo, they that are far from thee shall perish. Thou hast destroyed all them that go a-whoring from thee. Yeah, Psalms 16:4 tells you that, right? Their sorrows shall be multiplied that hastened after another power, right? Verse 28, but it is good for me to draw near to the Most High. I have put my trust in the Lord power, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, that I may declare all thy works. All right. So, point being, that's a great psalm right there. They speak wickedly concerning oppression. All right. Psalm 73:8. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. They speak like it was no big deal. All right. But this is that turning of things upside down that Esau has. All right. Oh, I did you a favor. In fact, it's Isaiah 29. Let's see. He's saying, I did you blacks a favor by bringing you into slavery. Isaiah 19 and my bad. Isaiah 29 and 16, it says, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? All right, so Esau has turned things upside down. All right, he's made it to where he's the good guy. He didn't do anything wrong. You stupid blacks, you were making your mud huts in Africa. You should be glad you're over here playing in the NBA. And, this is this devil, all right? This is the devil right here that we're dealing with, all right? Let's get Lamentations 4, because this is not going to go unpunished by the Most High, all right? Lamentations 4:21, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked, all right? The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion, Israelites. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. These Edomites, these devils, all right, these self-proclaimed white people, all right, which you got to, put the disclaimer that some of our people, some Israelites, are going to look like so-called white people, all right? But by and large, the white man's the devil, all right? O daughter of Edom, he will discover thy sins, all right? So this is going to go, this is not going to go unchecked by the Most High, all right? This is Revelation 18:6. It says, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled to her double, right? So once Babylon the Great gets destroyed and all these Edomites here die, all right, and we take the rest of them into slavery, we're going to give them that double portion. All right, we're going to give them twice the twice the hardcore slavery. All right, except we're not going to do those wicked things that they did to us, like chop a man's rod off or sodomize a man in front of everybody. That's sickening. All right, because we're not going to do any wickedness. We're going to be in righteous bodies. All right, where we can't even think to go off. And that's pursuing to 1 Corinthians 15:50 on down. All right. Flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of the Most High. All right, we're going to be in incorruptible bodies, where we never sin. All right, but Esau is going to get that double punishment, all right, for this wickedness, all right. So I just wanted to bring those scriptures out. I pray that was edifying. Seeing stuff like that really really boils your blood. But hey, the Most High is not going to let it go unpunished. All right, so all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Orcha, Kodash. Double honors to the elders at Great Millstone who taught me this truth. And shalom to all you brothers out there and you good amount of sisters. Shalom.